Part 6. The Jester's Grin. The chipped porcelain jester on the garage door handle hadn't been a welcome. Arthur now understood, but a slow calibration of dread. Each groan from within wasn't merely the settling of an old house, but the rhythmic pulse of a growing accusation, a skeletal heartbeat echoing in the wood. Leo woke with a start, his skin prickling as if brushed by something cool and dry. A draft whispering not of air but of judgment. He didn't scream like teenagers rarely did, preferring to contain terror within the tight coil of annoyance. But his face held the chalky cast of someone seeing too much. Arthur found him staring at the crack beneath the door, the space between worlds suddenly vast and hungry. Just the house, Bud? Arthur said, too quickly, too confidently. Leo grunted, already retreating into the blue glow of his VR headset. Escape was easier than facing whatever lurked just beyond the periphery. A refuge built of neon skyscrapers and synthetic rain. The real sting arrived later, while Arthur brewed coffee. Eleanor discovered it first, another gesture card, pinned to an old family photograph on the fridge. Not a recent portrait, but one from their early courtship. Eleanor younger, brighter, holding a sketchbook brimming with architectural designs she'd eventually traded for law briefs. The gesture on the card was mid-bow, almost mocking her earlier aspirations. It felt less like playful teasing and more like a pointed, what if? Etched into time. Look at this, she said, voice tight as a stretched wire. He's practically sneering at my past life. Arthur tried for soothing practicality. It's just a card. Old houses collect things. But even he felt a prickle of unease bloom across the scalp. The cards weren't random anymore. They were targeted, each placement surgically precise in its emotional weight. They were cartographers charting the terrain of their discontent. The argument erupted predictably over breakfast, over burnt toast and lukewarm coffee, and years of unspoken resentment calcified into a brittle silence between them. You dragged us all up here for atmosphere, Arthur? Eleanor snapped, her voice sharper than usual. To ponder your existential anxieties while I lose billable hours? It's not just about my anxieties, Arthur retorted, feeling a flush creep up his neck. I thought we could reconnect, get away from everything. Reconnect by being haunted by some lumberjack spirit and tormented by creepy clowns. She gestured wildly at the gesture card still propped against the sugar bowl. This is supposed to be relaxing? Leo barely looked up from his VR game. A sprawling Neo-Tokyo he was painstakingly rebuilding with impossible angles and shimmering hollow trees, offering only a mutter. It's kinda cool though. He was recreating not just a city, but an order lost to him in the messy reality of their family. Building walls against chaos, both digital and domestic. Clara, sensing the storm brewing, retreated further into her sketchbook, her pencil flying across the page, capturing gestures with increasingly mournful eyes, each one mirroring a fragment of their collective sorrow. Even Grandma Vivian chimed in with characteristic dryness. You always did chase ghosts instead of facing your demons, Arthur. Guilt washed over Arthur in waves. He had wanted distraction, a scenic backdrop for his looming tenure review, a way to avoid confronting the quiet dissatisfaction that had been creeping into their marriage for years. He'd thought a little nature would fix things. He hadn't accounted for the garage breathing down their necks. He'd imagined them strolling hand in hand beside the lake. He hadn't anticipated it becoming another mirror reflecting their distance. Later that afternoon, Clara found another gesture card nestled amongst her drawings. this one depicting all four of them as jesters wearing sad expressions. Their painted smiles stretched thin over weary faces. It was unsettlingly accurate, capturing their collective mood with disturbing clarity. The lake shimmered outside, deceptively tranquil, like an invitation to oblivion. Eleanor announced they were leaving tomorrow, her decision driven not by fear, but by efficiency. "This house is charming," she conceded to Brenda, whose curt sympathy felt more like dismissal. "But it's eating up valuable time." Brenda shrugged. She'd seen families unravel in these old houses before, generations clinging to fading grandeur while life moved on. Old houses do that sometimes. They hold on to things. She herself had left her husband and farm 10 years prior, trading fields for factory work, understanding perfectly what it meant to sacrifice atmosphere for advancement. As they packed, Arthur noticed how easily they fell back into their separate rhythms. Eleanor meticulously folding clothes, each crease sharp and deliberate as if smoothing away years of accumulated friction. Leo lost in his digital world, constructing perfection one pixel at a time. Clara quietly sketching, her pencil attempting to capture something elusive that even she couldn't name. Even Grandma Vivian seemingly content to observe the chaos with amused detachment, knowing that some silences are louder than any argument. Were they truly a family, or simply four individuals coexisting within the same space? That evening, staring out at the darkening lake, Arthur realized it wasn't about what was haunting them, the spirit of disgruntled lumberjacks or some lingering energy, but why? The haunting wasn't an invasion. It was an excavation, digging up buried regrets and forgotten choices. And the jester? He wasn't mocking them. He was merely holding up a mirror to their own fractured selves. A mirror reflecting not monsters in the garage, but monsters within their own hearts. Eleanor wandered over, her face illuminated by the hallway light. "I just want things to mean something," she said softly, her voice stripped of its earlier sharpness. "All those years chasing partner. For what? So I could spend my weekends staring at sad clown cards." Arthur wanted to tell her it wasn't just about billable hours, that she craved order in a world spinning increasingly out of control, but found himself speechless. He saw now that his own quest for academic validation stemmed from similar anxieties, a need to prove himself worthy, to leave some lasting mark on a world indifferent to his existence. Leo glanced up from Neo Tokyo, momentarily pulling off his headset. "It's okay," he said quietly. "Everything is kind of messed up anyway." A shrug born not of annoyance this time, but of weary acceptance. Clara finished sketching one last gesture, this one with tears streaming down its painted face, its expression mirroring her own quiet melancholy. Arthur watched them pack, each movement carrying years of history and hidden longing. He had sought distraction, seeking escape from his own looming insecurities, and found instead an amplification of them. The garage breathed behind them still, no longer menacing but simply present, holding all their ghosts within its weathered walls.